Welcome back to the channel. This is Andrew with Running with Dr. Andrew. Today's August 19th, 2021. It's Thursday and another run today. Pretty tough run for me today. My legs are pretty tired, so I'm not going terribly fast. I did yesterday. I did some pretty quick miles at the end, so a little bit more of a tempo run yesterday compared to today, having to stop and walk a little bit. So I'm going to try to do 6 miles and do just maybe a couple walk-jog miles, just to kind of recover my legs a little bit. I definitely can tell. Doing a little bit extra faster work, I think this is going to help out later on in my running, as long as I'm staying injury free, which I'm feeling pretty good. It's just more fatigue with my legs, and also I lifted weights the past couple of days, so that might be part of it too. I'm a little sore from lifting weights. Just got back from my 6 mile run. Definitely feel pretty good. It's pretty humid outside. The temperature is pretty good, but overall a good run. Definitely can tell it's kind of starting to get the end of the week, and legs are getting a little tired, so I've still got a few more miles to go. I'm going to do just at least a couple mile walk jog type of run for the evening, for a total of 8 miles altogether. And so that would get time on my feet and get some aerobic endurance there. And so I hope everyone's runs are going good. And again, what kind of shoes, usually that's what everyone's kind of wondering, what kind of shoes I'm running in. And I've been running in my Pegasus 37, and so that's using my daily runners. And then during track time and during tempo runs, I run in my Hyperion Tempo shoes. And I do have the Saucony Endorphin Pros, the first edition, and so I'm saving those for any type of races I may compete in, especially like half marathons and marathons. Andrew, today's Friday, August 20th. I'm doing a 7 mile easy run and then a 2 mile kind of cool down after that. Today's pretty warm. My legs, I can definitely tell, a little sore because we did some of the runs. I definitely did some increased speed on some of them. Monday definitely was. It was supposed to be a recovery run, but it ended up not really being too much of a recovery run. And then today, and yesterday, it definitely was more of a recovery run for me. And then tomorrow, we've got speed training, doing some mile repeats again, some half mile repeats, maybe some sprinting and plyometrics, getting explosion back in the legs. Learning to drive the knee more. That's definitely kind of the topic of the week, is getting your knees to drive more with running. And not necessarily driving more where you're overstriding, but lifting your knees up so that way you have more responsiveness and you'll be able to have improved stride with those runs. All right, guys, welcome back. This is Saturday, August 21st. I had to check the day and just kind of woke up a little bit, and it's time to do a little bit of speed work today. I'm going to do approximately about 5 miles, 2 mile warm up, and then 1 mile repeat, and then 2 1 mile repeats, and then I'm going to do another cool down mile for 5 miles total. Then later on I'm going to do 2 miles. So that makes it 7 miles for the day. And then I'll have about 45 miles altogether, then 15.5 miles for tomorrow for my long run. So definitely kind of on schedule of how many miles I'll be running this week, and then the following week will be 66 miles. All right, guys, let's get after it. It's time to warm up. right, guys, let's go running. All right, just completing, getting pretty close to got 1 mile done. Got another mile left before complete my 2 mile warm up, and then we're gonna do 2 1 mile repeats and then another mile recovery run. All right, guys, I just got done completing 1 mile at 7 minutes and 53 seconds. And again, kind of on a hilly course right now, which is good for me because the Little Rock Marathon is going to be pretty hilly. So I'm getting a little bit of hill training in as well this morning. And hopefully next week I'll get back on the track there and do some more track mile repeats. All right, guys, got one more mile repeat to go, and then we'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, got done with my number 2 mile repeat. Did it in 8 minutes and 7 seconds. Felt pretty good. It was definitely a pretty challenging one because that one was mostly uphill, and which is good. You get a little bit of hill training in too. That's a good thing about living in Arkansas. We got every day is a hill repeat day. No matter what pace you're doing, if it's slow or fast, you're always climbing some sort of hill around here. The good thing is there is some downhill, so that way that does help out with recovery on a lot of runs. But definitely the uphill can be a battle sometimes, but that's what running's all about, is not giving up on the uphill situation in life or in running. Because eventually, if you're in a hilly course, there's always a downhill somewhere. It makes things a little easier. Same thing in life. Keep climbing that mountain, and eventually you'll get a break and be able to go downhill. All right, guys, that concludes today's run of 5 miles, 2 mile warm up, and then 2 1 mile repeats, and then another mile recovery run. Later on, I'll be doing just a easy 2 mile recovery run. I'm getting ready for tomorrow's run, which is a 15.5 mile run, which will conclude the 60.5 miles. And guys, definitely be patient with your running. 4 years ago, I was not running these distances, and I was having issues running 8 miles without stopping, and that was on a cool day. I finished my first half marathon in almost, last one was 2000, almost 7 years, and I did it in 2 hours and 23 minutes, and I had to do a lot of walking in that half marathon. Had some pain involved with it too, and then definitely over these past years getting a little stronger, a little bit more endurance. And I was able, a year and a half ago to complete a half marathon in 1:43:47, which is a huge improvement. Definitely just time on your feet and patience and making sure that you're doing your daily runs. All those slow runs definitely matter. You don't always have to go super fast all the time. And that's whenever you get really injured, when you go too fast too quickly. And also if you increase your mileage too quickly too. So remember, just do the 10% rule of increasing mileage. Even if you have to back off just a little bit, just know what your body is feeling and be patient. Your aerobic system is meant to develop over time rather than really quickly. Now you gain speed quicker and strength pretty quickly, but then that aerobic endurance, it just takes a while for that to improve. So definitely be patient out there. It will come one day, and you'll definitely be a little bit more endurance, able to run longer without stopping. And that's the whole thing with endurance sports anyways. See how long you can go without slowing down or without stopping. That's kind of what this whole sport is definitely sprinting, or even 5K paces, or shorter paces or races are a little different than these longer endurance type of runs. Welcome back to the channel. Today's Sunday, August 22nd, and today we're doing a long run. it's pretty warm, so what I'm going to do is probably do about 12 miles, and then I got 5 more miles left, and later on this evening, whenever it cools off, do a little bit more mileage. Definitely the sun's out, it's pretty warm, and getting pretty hot, so definitely getting tired. My heart rate's getting a little bit higher, so we'll definitely finish up later on this evening. Well, I did decide to go and do the 15.5 miles. I took in some electrolytes. I was trying to hold off as long as I could the electrolytes, and I think that might have been a little mistake. I should have taken it a little earlier. I think I would have been better off, but still doing pretty good. Doing some walk jog, about a mile. I'm about 12.5 miles, so I got about 3 miles left. So the next 1.5 miles, I'm going to kind of do a little bit of striding, and then walk again for a little bit, and then finish the run off there. Again, also felt much better after taking some electrolytes. Just took some a gel just a while ago with lots of sodium and potassium in them, so definitely that should get in my system pretty quickly there. I've been drinking some Gatorade as well as along the way, about every 2 miles, 1.5 miles, 2 miles or so. Got just a little bit left, so I'm gonna save that once I stop after about 1.5 miles, and then walk a little bit, and then finish up the other 1.5 miles. And it's been a tough day. You know, sometimes that happens. You get that mental break where he's like, I don't know if I can go any further because it's so hot, or your legs are cramping or whatever. So sometimes you have to kind of just reevaluate where you're at, do a little, slow down, and maybe take in some electrolytes, walk a little bit, and that might kind of help you out to feel a little better for the rest of the run. Definitely, it's a beautiful, clear day, but but it's definitely pretty warm out there. I think the humidity is about 94%, so that is playing a factor where I'm not getting a lot of evaporation on my skin, just sweating away, and so definitely replenishing those fluids are important. All right, see everyone at the end of the 1.5 miles there. All right, guys, I did complete the 1.5 miles. Got about 1 mile left or so I'm kind of walk jogging this one. It's pretty warm. Got my heart rate pretty high up into the 170, so it's still about 150 or so, which is all right now, since I'm kind of actually in zone 3 right now. Just walking, so I'm trying to get my heart rate down a little bit, down to zone 2. That way I'm just kind of working on my aerobic. The last run was more of an anaerobic, pretty burning. There's some hills that I had to climb up there, and so that's kind of when I wanted to work. Usually wanted to, even if I have to slow down throughout the whole run, I wanted at least the last mile or so, 1.5 miles, in order to improve on my strength and speed on tired legs. I think that's important. Kind of dips into the anaerobic a little bit, and makes your system work a little harder compared to before. And now it's kind of more just recovery, getting that last mile and a half in or so. Nice recovery there. I got a pretty big hill right now to climb up. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's a pretty good steep hill you've got to go up here. So I have to climb up this hill several times. I do about a 5 mile loop during my run there. So I have to climb up this hill several times. It's actually pretty good because races, whenever it does come, there's usually at least one big hill and several little rolling hills here in Arkansas. That makes it a lot more tolerable when I'm running out here on these big hills daily, especially on long runs. So that way I'm building up that strength and endurance. And so race time comes, I'm well prepared for these hills. Again, I think it's okay to get out there and walk if you need to. There's some professional athletes that do walk and do zone 2. Sometimes your heart rate does get up there, and you just got to wait until that heart rate gets down, so that way you're able to get into that zone 2 running for building up the aerobic engine and improving and getting more mitochondria into your system, so that way later on you can build those mitochondria that you've trained to make it more efficient. And that's whenever you get your speed and during races. So you're training your body again to the fat storage, and then you're training those mitochondria to be a little bit more efficient. So that way they stay, a constant speed. You're going as fast as you can without stopping. That's the whole purpose of an endurance sport. I've learned that over the years, especially going from half marathons to marathons. That was definitely an eye opener for me. And it's totally different ball game with once you go to marathons from half marathons. It is because you still got a little bit of speed that you can push yourself in half marathons compared to marathons. You have to kind of rely a little bit more on that aerobic engine base there to carry the 26 miles. And then you rely on your speed training, tempo runs, your long runs, all the work you've done, all the miles you've done throughout the months leading up to the marathon to get you across the finish line. And that's what I'm hoping for anyway. And also, got a little bit of benefits of training in the heat, just because your heart rate does go a little bit higher, so you have to kind of slow down a little bit. So once the weather gets cooler, you're able to go a little faster. Hopefully about a month or so, it'll be a lot cooler, getting closer to October. Be able to run a little faster for a little longer paces. Still got a few more warm days left. I think next week's supposed to get up to 97, so this is definitely August weather and here in Arkansas, so I imagine that's like that throughout the United States as well. All right, guys, I got done with that run. Whew, definitely a tough one. And I didn't even think I was going to finish that run today. Got it done. 15 and a half miles at 2 hours, 45 minutes, about 48 seconds. I'll put that on the screen there so that way you can see what my mileage is. And so roughly average about 10:41, so definitely about 7 miles was pretty tough. Last 6 miles I would say was pretty tough. A lot of walking and jogging. Around mile 2.5 or mile 12.5 to 14 miles was a good stretch of run there. Trying to work on tired legs, and that concludes that. So we'll go back and kind of talk about the rest of the week. I got 2 more miles to run. It'll do like a recovery run later on this evening, and then we'll talk about what we completed after 2 more miles later on this evening. That'll complete 60 and a half miles for the week, and then we're going to attempt 66 next week, and then we're going to drop it down about 20% for week number 5, just because just a recovery week, and also I work that weekend, so it is a little exhausting whenever I work about 6 days in a row there, especially weekend. And all right, that finishes this week of 60 miles, and next week I'm planning on doing 66 miles. And again, Mondays are always kind of recovery weeks, and then this is kind of what the chart looks like so far. We are on week number 4. And so you can see start at 50, 55, 60 and a half, and then 66 miles for week number 4. And then week number 5, we will decrease the mileage just to kind of help out with a little bit of recovery, and then go on from there. And then it's, after this, we've got 12 more weeks. After next week, we've got 12 more weeks left of the Little Rock Marathon, which is kind of incredible just to think about, just because it's, it's August and November is going to be on its way pretty soon. And so let me know in the comments, how's your training going? I know this video is going to be a little long. It's including Thursday through Sunday, which is okay. Didn't have time to post everything on that I wanted to, but that's all right. I hope everyone enjoys this video. And I hope everyone keeps safe, keep running, and we'll see you next time.